My name is Amina, and I've always believed that some love stories don't begin with fireworks or fate. Sometimes they begin with a quiet hello across the gate. I was 22 when Adil moved in next door. Our neighborhood was an old part of Lahore. Rows of closely built houses, the air scented with spices in summer heat. We lived in the kind of street where everyone knew everyone, where aunties gossiped from rooftops, and uncles drank chai together every evening. That day, I was watering the bougainvillea outside our front door. I heard a car engine, the slam of a trunk, and then the noise of boxes thudding on the ground. I looked up and saw him, tall, slim, sleeves rolled up, carrying a box that looked too heavy. His skin was golden brown from the sun, and his forehead glistened with sweat. He set the box down and glanced around. Our eyes met. "Hi," he said, slightly breathless. "I'm Adil." I gave a small smile. "Amina." He nodded, as if committing it to memory. That was all. He turned back to help his mother, and I finished watering the plants. But something about him stayed in my mind. Adil and his mother had moved from Rawalpindi after his father passed away. His mother, a graceful woman in her 50s, was warm and soft-spoken. They settled into the house next to ours like they had always belonged. I learned from my mother that Adil was 26, an engineer recently hired by a firm in Lahore. "He seems like a good boy," my mother remarked one day, peeking out the window. "Helps his mother, greets the elders, doesn't roam aimlessly." I didn't say anything, but inside I quietly agreed. At first, our interactions were nothing more than polite exchanges. A nod at the gate, a soft salam on Eid. Occasionally, our paths crossed at the market. And sometimes, late at night, I would hear him humming from his rooftop. It became a ritual, him on his side, me on mine. We would sit silently, reading or staring at the stars, each lost in our world but aware of the other's presence. It was comforting, familiar, and slowly something more. One day it started with a smile. Then came a wave. Then a sentence. "You always read up here?" he asked one evening, looking over the low wall that separated our rooftops. I nodded. "It's quieter than inside." "What are you reading?" "Fouilles." His eyes lit up. "I like Fouilles." That night we talked for 2 hours. About poetry, politics, cities we dreamed of visiting. He told me about his college years, how he lost his father to a sudden illness, how he became the only son with too many responsibilities. I told him about my love for writing, how I dropped out of university when my father's health declined, how I taught part-time at a local girls' school now. We were two strangers with quiet lives and silent hearts. And that night we found something in each other's words that felt like home. We never made it official. No declarations. No promises. Just long rooftop evenings. Sometimes he'd bring tea. Sometimes I'd bake something and hand it to him over the wall. Our hands brushed once. He smiled and looked away. I felt the blood rush to my cheeks. I didn't know what to call it, but I knew how it felt: steady, honest, safe. But life has always had plans. One evening he said, "I might be transferred." I froze. "Rawalpindi again? It's a big project. Might be 2 years." I nodded, pretending to be unaffected. "That's great." He looked at me carefully. "It doesn't feel great." I said nothing. That night, I cried into my pillow for a future I never even had. The day he left, I didn't come out to say goodbye. I watched from the window as his car pulled away, carrying his boxes, his mother, and my unspoken feelings. He texted once when he arrived, "Reach safely. Take care of the rooftop." I didn't reply, but every night I went to the rooftop, just to remember. Life returned to its quiet routine. My father's health worsened. I took on more tuition to support the e-house. My dreams of writing took a back seat. Days blurred into weeks, weeks into months. Adil texted occasionally. On Eid. On my birthday. Once when he saw a book I liked in a shop window. I never said what I wanted to say. "I miss you." 1 year passed. Then another. And then one Friday evening my mother walked into my room holding a letter. "Adil's mother came," she said, voice trembling. "They've sent a proposal. For you." I stared at her, heart pounding. Did you know this was coming?" My mother smiled. She said, "Adil has loved you for a long time. He waited to settle his work first. He's been saving up for the wedding." He's coming home next week. I sat on my bed in silence, tears spilling down my cheeks. The night he returned, we met again on the rooftop. I never knew, I whispered. I always knew, he replied. He reached for my hand. This time I didn't pull away. I wanted to ask you 2 years ago, he said. But I wasn't ready. And I didn't want to give you uncertainty. You deserved better. I looked at him through tears. You were always enough. He smiled and it felt like the world finally made sense. Our wedding was simple. A small gathering laughter, a rain of rose petals. He moved back into the house next door, but I moved in with him. It was strange waking up next to the boy I once watched from afar. But it felt right. We still sat on the rooftop. Now with mugs of tea and stories about our days. We made a swing for the small tree he planted. We grew tomatoes in old paint buckets. Life was quiet, but beautiful. And when our daughter was born, we named her Far, because she came at dawn, a new beginning. Now it's been 3 years. Our daughter's laughter fills the air. Our mothers argue over spices. A dill still hums in the evening. And I still sit on the rooftop sometimes, thinking of that summer when I loved a boy from afar. Some love stories are slow. Some never get spoken. And some, like mine, begin with a smile over the garden gate and become everything. I loved a neighbor once. And I still do.